and Nintendo is about to celebrate 35 years of Super Mario. So they're probably wondering, how do we celebrate Mario? Could we create another 3D Mario game? Well, they had a better idea. They're going to sell some of the old games that people love. So, for the 35-year anniversary direct, they decided to announce Super Mario 3D All-Stars. It would have 3 games, Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. Problem 1, it had Mario Galaxy 1, but not Mario Galaxy 2. And number 2 is that it was $60, but at the time, if you got all 3 games, it would have been less than $60. The game would be a limited release for online and physical, meaning that at a certain time that the physical stores will have their games removed and the digital store will have the game removed. So people are confused, why are they doing this? It is unnecessary. So the game releases and people are very mixed on the game. Let's talk about the menu. The menu is very boring and bland. It looks very lazily made, and it felt like they made it in 3 seconds. They didn't even try, they didn't add any fun facts. All they did was just slap the title and say play game. Let's talk about Mario 64. So for one, this is not the original Mario 64. This is not the N64 version. This is the re-release version where they patched the backwards long jump and many glitches. So this is not the original Mario 64 people were wanting for. This is an updated version with all the bug fixes. In addition to that, the Mario 64 is not full screen. It's only a certain size, and they never made it full screen. In addition, the Mario 64 controls are very off when using the Joy-Cons, but it only gets worse. With Mario Sunshine, the controls were really bad, especially with the Joy-Cons, and the controls were completely all over the place. Here's something very ironic. So the Switch had a GameCube controller that you could buy, and you could use it for GameCube games. Mario Sunshine is a GameCube game. The controller does not work with Mario Sunshine. The controls are completely messed up when you use the GameCube controller, and to this day, they still haven't fixed that glitch. In addition, there's still many bugs, and still feels very unpolished. But here's the crazy part. Emulations have done a better job at preserving these games than Nintendo has. They have made it full screen, 60 frames, and they polished the game, and they didn't fix a lot of the bugs, but they definitely fixed a lot of problems that they were having with those games. And they somehow managed to make the mapping of the controllers a lot better than Nintendo ever did. Now, let's talk about Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy had the least amount of problems, but the controls were very bad, especially when you were using dock mode, where sometimes the Joy-Con would go all over the place, and it'd be very difficult to grab the start bits. And if you were in handheld mode, you had to physically touch the screen to pick up any start bits, and it would be very annoying for switching from the controller to the screen just to grab start bits. With the game, it came with music, but you could only listen to the music on your Switch. So if you wanted to go to the gym and listen to some Mario Galaxy music, you kind of had to bring your Switch with you just to listen to the music. People were outraged about this. It felt like Nintendo was doing the bare minimum and they were being lazy, because they could have done so much more, give us behind the scenes exclusive images, but instead all they gave us was music and copy and paste games from previous titles. They didn't change anything up, they didn't fix the bugs, they didn't fix the graphics, and in addition to that, a lot of the controls are worse compared to their original consoles. But for a while, if you wanted to play some of these retro Nintendo games, that game was the only way you could do it. And when it completely sold out, you couldn't get the game anywhere. So you had to hope that Nintendo would release some of these old games on Switch. And they did, but you had to pay for a Nintendo Switch Online expansion. That's right, you had to pay the most expensive version of Nintendo Online, and then Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 would come out, but only for $70. So if you wanted Galaxy, you had to pay $70 for it. Nintendo was going to make their money on fear of missing out, or FOMO. And it's because people want these games, but if you wanted it, you had to get it at a certain time window or period. So, by using that, they got a lot of money from sales from the game because people were scared of not being able to purchase the games. This showed how lazy Nintendo was when it came to celebrating their 35 years by doing the bare minimum and only putting as little effort as they can, and still get a lot of money because they're selling the game based off nostalgia more than anything. People were outraged, and rightfully so. They paid $60 just for the same games with no changes and with little to no features or additional content. This game feels like another nostalgia bait from Nintendo.